House of Cain, Chapter 4, Episode 2, About Witches. Thou shalt not suffer a witch to live. Exodus 22:18. Kit looked at me with a raised eyebrow. Who is this? I smiled. Come on in, Cal. I turned to Kit. He's a very old friend. The tall Indian walked in dressed as in his normal, stereotypical fashion. Straw hat, braided hair, white t-shirt, faded jeans, and broke-down bottom boots. You been sitting, doing nothing? While you got wolves, witches, playing in your backyard, Jackson Cain? He was obviously angry, though his face was a rubber mask, same as always. I'm working on it. I had to take a side trip to the other side, I explained to him. Native American? Mac asked. I nodded, yeah, he's a... But before I could finish, Cal shook his head and contradicted me. Injun. I'm a red-skinned, rain-dancing, feather-wearing motherfucker, he said, entering the already crowded room. I laughed. He was an orphan raised in Brooklyn. Well, he doesn't sound like a New Yorker, Mac challenged. And thank the spirits. You know the accent's fake, Mac, right? They don't actually say how and talk monosyllabically. Well, I didn't want to grow up being no Native American, Cal continued, ignoring me. I grew up dreaming of being Injun brave, medicine man, something of community. Sacrificed a lot for what I got. What are you doing here, Walker? Dragomir asked. They said Walker more like Walker, with a sneer in his voice. Magic brother, he bowed, giving a kind of title to Dragomir. Can't move anywhere in the shadows these days without tumbling over witches or demon smells. Damn black blood witches moving round out here like fleas on a dog's ass. Kinda like Comanche bastards. That's not really politically correct, right? Comanche bastards? Mac asked. Cal pointed a thumb at Mac. Is he stupid, white man? His face was absolutely without expression. Comanches were trash people. I think they were the worst parts of what was left of Aztec influence. They had bad leadership, really. They'd rather kidnap, loot, steal, and raid than hunt and provide for themselves. They caused problems. When the white man came, people thought of Comanches, and we all paid the price. It's much more complicated than that, but I have disdain for those peoples. They were raiders. Well, we know there are witches and wolves in this. We're about to go out and look at a murder scene that maybe have something to do with ritual magic, I told him. Dragomir gave me a look. So our mother? I asked. Calvin Shadow Walker looked from me to Dragomir and back, and with an absolutely straight face, he said, Finally figured that one out, did ya, stupid white man? Hey, you didn't know. And then he just looked at me like I was stupid, and that always annoyed me. What are you? Kit asked him, losing any diplomacy she may have had. And then I slapped my forehead, trying to diffuse the situation. Oh, I'm remiss. Calvin Shadowwalker, meet my newest bride, newly today, Kitsune Kane, formerly of the She. But he just still looked at me. No expression. Just blank-faced. Some would call it resting bitch face if it were a woman. Bride? She? As in fae? As in fairy? He paused as if thinking. Prophecy, right? I nodded. How'd you know? One thing I've learned in this long and abused life, the bastard wasn't even as old as I was. Jackson Kane, he continued, is that there is always a prophecy or destiny or secret or something. It never ends. He turned to Kit. I am a mistake, Kitsune. Something that should never have happened. Dragomir tried to explain. As far as we know, his mother was a skinwalker in the Navajo tradition, and she gave birth to him while in the shadows under the influence of black magic. And my father was a Manato, most likely raven or wolf, since those are my forms. Aren't the Manitou like Native American versions of God? Mac asked. Why would one mate with an evil witch if skinwalkers are evil? Are they evil? Are all of them evil? Are you evil? Are you the same thing? No, I am different. I can choose. I do not have to sacrifice to do what I do. Skinwalkers, people who follow the witchery way, the way of death, are the blackest of witches, because in order to take a form, they must skin a being alive and absorb the pain and suffering along with its skin. It uses the magic to do this. I become a bear, a wolf, a coyote, a child, a human child. He looked Max straight in the eye, his expression never changing, though the emotion in the man's voice could have strangled anyone in the room. They must kill one of their own, preferably their own child or their own parent. The most evil act. He shook his head. As to why Raven mate with her, I can only find one conclusion. He mated with her, left her, and she went insane. My understanding is why I was born in the Shadow Realm was because she was going to sacrifice me to the Chiti in the shadows. Mac's face were confused. Chiti are dark spirits, like demons. Anyway, would not have worked out. She was nutso. So I was born and left there. No one knows how I ended up in an orphanage in New York as full-blood Navajo, full-blood Dene. So I finished. You know, it's really annoying. Please stop it with the fake Indian accent. He can shift, but not like a werewolf. It's spirit magic. It's neither good nor bad. It's instantaneous. He turns into a cloud and reforms. And he can travel in the shadows. Jump from shadow to shadow, I told him. But the dude's wearing a cross, Matt chuckled. A little odd from one magical being from Native America using spirit magic. Different religions describe the same thing, just from different points of view. It is the same, Mac, with religion as it is with anything else. Your environment shapes different foods, ways of cooking, societal structure. The harshness of environment, the harshness of these structures. Same thing with religion. Are you okay? I asked Cal. No, Jackson Kane. Much evil about. Alright, I said, exasperated by his fake accent. Let's go then, I said to Dragomir. This one will stay, Kit said, reverting back to her other voice. Are you okay? This one is tired and must change shape. Traveling the way to the other side is very difficult, and you should not be in danger in the light of day. I shrugged. She could do what she wants. Whatever the Fae wants to think, she wasn't really my wife. Just because she bit me and I accepted some gifts doesn't make her my bride. I hope this won't take long. I need some rest as well, I told her. Give me address, Cal said again. I will meet you there. Can't just take all of us? Dragomir asked. I can take you, he said to Dragomir. I can take Mac, even the fairy if she wished. But my magic does not work on Jackson Kane. I do not know why. Yeah, we were kind of counting on it one time and it didn't come through. Had to kind of cut our way out of a situation. It was a while back. I never did figure out why it doesn't work. Because you're immune to magic, Jackson Kane. Yep, Dragomir confirmed. That is the biggest secret left, the link to our mother. I was to show you, but we didn't have time. How is that? Ritual magic. When a ritual is performed, as was performed at our births, I'll begin with my example. For 9 months and during conception, I'm led to believe, dark rituals and blood sacrifices were performed. They linked me to the magic, and my father, obviously one of the wizards that she infected with her mind virus and ultimately sacrificed. I know it wasn't the last one, but it could have been any from the 1st to the 200th for all I know. It enhanced the power of that wizard blood and the magic I inherited from him. Though it began demonic in nature, filtered through me, it's neither good nor bad. I just am able to touch the universe a little bit more strongly than others. What does that have to do with me or why Kel's magic won't work for me? I asked. You received a gift as well, and though you were not exposed to the magic as long as I, although I have argued with your father that she was under a guise, a glamour, so magic could have affected you through your entire developmental period. But the magic was thick, and the knife at your throat during the ritual when it was interrupted and a man was sacrificed in your place during the fight. Once the bow is drawn, the arrow cares not what it hits. Well, that's good, right? Being immune to magic. The gift is tied up with your father's magic. It enhanced. And now you're not just immune to death, you're immune to magic. I can't really believe that. I barely got it out of my mouth before Dragomir shot a bolt of lightning from his hand directly at me. I said I can't really say it absorbed it. It felt like that at first, but it just dissipated as I did. Yeah, then. Good thing, Max said. Not really, Dragomir argued. Well, why not? Mac asked. If magic can't touch him, we're dealing with witches. I tried to explain it to him. Well, as we know, I motioned the cow, I can't travel with magic, so I'm stuck to regular means. Can't shapeshift, that's not part of what I got. Can't travel, so I can't get help either. A healer can't heal me magically. My healing ability can't be enhanced by magic. No one can give me any extra energy. I'm as mortal as you when it comes to that. Kit smirked. What? I asked, as she sat on the back of the couch, almost like she was crouched to pounce. It isn't true of she magic. Otherwise, you would not have traveled the ways to the other side, she concluded. Dragomir nodded. Fey magic's different. It's not tied to the earth. It's tied to the other side now. Adros Wizard, Cal demanded, and Dragomir gave it to him, but he did it in an annoyed voice. Wasn't sure why they didn't get along. Okay, I'll come first and make sure it's not being watched. If I don't interrupt you as you get out of the truck, there's nothing wrong. I'll wait and watch. There's no need to let local authorities know about me. You think there might be something during the day? Mac asked. Fella, let me tell you something. Them black witches, they do just exactly what they want. They don't care. Their power comes from demons. Demons only want one thing, only will ever want one thing: chaos. He lowered his voice to a whisper. It never hurts to plan for the worst, because there's that damned Murphy's Law. And then, in one motion, he stepped to the side, morphed into the shape of a crow, flew into the shadows, and disappeared. Well, that just gets more insane all the time, doesn't it? Oh, you just wait. Zombies, vampires, ghosts. Things I probably never even heard about myself. Lots of predators out there, man. Huh. More exciting that way, I guess, Max said, though the look on his face was completely horrified. We got back in the truck, but as I slammed my door, I noticed Mac had stopped, his foot resting on the plate just inside, holding the door open. Zombies, Jackson? Really? He asked. Yeah, they're tied to vampires. Nothing to worry about now. Right now we need to focus on werewolves. And I guess witches. The drive to the site didn't take long. It was a local park. Nice little place, fairly wooded out of the way. The standard yellow tape surrounded a large area toward the back, and police officers roamed back and forth, keeping runners and pathwalkers out of the way. We exited the truck and approached the sergeant in charge there, standing, his hands on his hips, and presented our IDs. I was looking around at the various shadows among the trees. It was an old game. I had to admit, though, Cal made me paranoid. I assumed there wasn't anything adversarial out there, but even with the sun beating down on us, it was hard to know for sure. "Is there a victim?" I whispered over at Dragomir. "Yeah," he said. "What?" Mac asked. "What's wrong with the victim?" Mac asked. "It's complicated. He's societal. He's high society, if there's such a word in this place," he said, annoyed. "I need your opinion when you see it, Jackson." "Why me?" I asked. "I think you would actually be the authority on this. It's magic, after all." "It seems that my father kind of left a lot of witch lore out of my education. I'm pretty much a vampire and werewolf kind of guy." "Not to worry, I will make my own observations. But I want your take. You've always been able to feel darkness, Jackson. I can't, and I need that." I approached the site, roped off so that people wouldn't disturb any residual evidence there might be. The coppery smell of blood was cloying, it was so thick. And upon what looked like a large square concrete platform, you know, the ones intended for a picnic table, the table missing, was a pentagram. And I knew it wasn't done in red paint. At the points of each star was a black mound of wax. And in the confluences, the little triangles near the center pentagon, lay misshapen little animals obviously sacrificed, and little pools of blood. In the center of the whole thing was the corpse of a young man, naked, but for a white silk loincloth. Obscuring his face was his half-eaten heart, little, petite mouth bites along its edge. It sat on his forehead. His chest looked to be ripped out from the inside out. Gore spattered the whole thing. I looked away. Though that scene would haunt me for the rest of my days. The darkness, nay, the evil of what was done here, it not only turned my stomach, it burned my soul. I didn't know who the kid had been. Hell, he could have been a piece of crap. Or he could have been an angel among men. I don't know. Doesn't make it any better. When a young person dies, necessary or not, you haven't just lost that person, their history, their memories frozen, but their potential. What ideas they could have wrought upon the world. What person has the power to change that? Stop another Beethoven, Albert Einstein, Benjamin Franklin, or Tolkien. Who gives an individual that power? Who are you to make that decision for the world, for the universe? We're in the place where we are, hunting, killing souls, releasing people from curses and monsters. These are questions that hammer at you, night after night, dream after dream. And what I saw there would not soon leave me. Eventually that kind of thing will destroy you. The boy, because after all it was just a kid, college age, looked to have been healthy before he'd been mutilated, in shape even. He was a jock. His arms and elbows and knees were scratched and scraped and bruised. Football player or something. Nothing on his body looked defensive. Clouds of bile-like darkness drifted through the area. Demonic evil, as pure as it came, just drifted through the whole place. It was a wonder there were any onlookers. That kind of residue, that oily, murky filth, tends to drive normal people away, smart people. But the most disturbing part about that feeling of demonic, deep, powerful evil, it seemed familiar. But not as a part of the curse like a vampire. Like something else, opposite, but familiar. Well, Dragomir asked, demanded really. Demonic, of course. I looked up into his blue eyes. Eyes that were as brilliant blue as mine were brilliant green. Sapphires and emeralds. He was obviously an innocent. Do you know what this ritual could have been for? Dragomir nodded. Yeah. He came willingly, Dragomir. Maybe brainwashed, or beguiled or misled, but he came willingly. Yes, this is not the thing that could have been done under magical coercion. A choice had been made. But, as you know, Jackson, demons are the ones who invented lying. They can use the truth to lie as well as if not better than the she, for they invented it. Their master is not called the father of lies for nothing. There is truth in that. Jackson came. Cal's voice came out of the gloom. I didn't jump, I promise. I kind of slipped on a rock. Didn't jump at all. Didn't startle me. I have situational awareness. The power I smell is not some lesser thing. There is not one witch here, or even a few witches. This is a full coven, Jackson. 13 full-blooded black witches. And they are tied to a deep, deep demon. I know, I told him. This is darker than even the residue that bastard left behind when he hadn't even thought of Angel in a few hours. I didn't want to right now. Dragomir frowned. Alright, that's it. We gotta do something now. This can't wait. I said, really, for the first time making my mind up. I was just about to get on my bike and get the hell out of Dodge. Maybe hit the Grand Canyon or the West Coast. Go up into Alaska and hide from these stupid fucking monsters. I didn't need a fey wife. I didn't need my father's age-old war against the darkness. I'd already lost too much with this kid. Therefore we fight not just for those we lose, nor for revenge or justice, but to stop it from happening altogether. I don't remember who said those words. They stuck with me. Protect the innocent. It's really all the call you got. That kid didn't deserve to get his heart ripped out. No matter what he'd done or been, you know, it is our mother, Dragomir said quietly. I can smell her, and she's gathered a full coven. Do you know what this was for? I asked. You got any clue? He nodded gravely. This was a rebirth. Think of a black baptism. Witches are not like wizards. I manipulate the energy that flows around provided by the universe. Everything is energy or matter, and matter is energy in a different form. And it never goes away, it's always there. It is physics and mathematics. Witches have no power of their own. And there is a difference between a witch and a Wiccan. A Wiccan, some call white witches, but that's a misnomer. They commune to spirits, those for health and food. They can tap into spirits of the earth, or fire, or all the elements. Witches, biblical witches, they consort with the powers of hell. That is where they get their power, and they must trade for it. And depending on how powerful the spirit is, the more it demands. Well, I know all this, I told him, and it isn't black and white, you know. It's close. I do use basically logic and mathematics and physics on an instinctual level to manipulate free energy about the universe. But I guide it with my emotion. I tell it what to do with my feelings and my anger and my emotion. Witches are the opposite. They borrow power, ask for something to be done or power given to do a specific thing. And always there must be a sacrifice, small at first usually, or made for them. But in the end, they'll be murdering whole villages. Shit, Max said. At least one of these witches, Cal said, is a skinwalker, Jackson Kane. That's the link, I said, snapping my fingers. Link? Mac asked. Remember, this all started with werewolves. They have a pack enthralled. That's what those charms were around their neck. Why? Dragomir asked. To what end? I don't know yet, I said. Maybe because of Septimus' death, the other side decided to start a war. Thinking I'm out. I've told the whole community who would listen that I'm out. Or maybe they think I'm just too experienced to take my father's mantle if they didn't believe me. No, Dragomir said. Jackson, this did not start with the wolves. It started with my birth. Really, it started with Alice's birth. It's about family. It's about blood. It's about the curse. She's after us. Well, whatever she's after, I'm going home. We need to plan this out, rest up, because tonight we're going to raid a wolf den, and I'm going to kill an alpha and a skinwalker, Cal said, from the shadows. And a skinwalker, I confirmed. Dragomir didn't say it, so Mac did. I don't want to be the asshole who points out the obvious, but we, meaning the United States government, have a treaty with the wolf packs. Mac, I told him, I don't recognize that treaty. I'm not a signatory. And according to the treaty the Kane family has with the United States of America, we are a power and must be treated diplomatically. Mac looked at Dragomir confused. Dragomir sighed. The pact broke it anyway. What happened at the warehouse last night is proof of that. So who's on the team? Cal asked. Just me. They began to argue, but I held up a hand. Oh, I'll need backup, but we're not going to go in guns blazing. We'll die. How many in this pack here in near Fort Worth? 30? 35? Against what, 2 or 3? No offense, Mac, but I wouldn't want to take you in there. We'll see about that, he murmured. No, it won't work. So just me. The idea is that we walk in. I challenge the Alpha. I've done it before. And while the pack's disoriented after I kill him, we turn on the Skinwalker. Take care of him. Her. It. No. Cal said. It won't work, Kane. I've challenged Alphas before, you know that. I said. You have, and I've seen it with my own eyes. Think, stupid white man. You can't take control of the pack. And we'll need the pack to find the Skinwalker. She could be veiled. If you kill the Alpha, they'll just and don't have anything to take over the pack link. They just go crazy and fight each other until a new Alpha's chosen, or they're all dead. It's right of might. It's the animal world. And really, werewolves are just wolves. No, you're wrong. Werewolves are rage. They're wolves enraged. So, what makes the difference? They're disoriented, we find the Skinwalker on our own. Because when another Alpha challenges to take a pack, the pack bonds to the winner of that test. I can do that. I have the wolf form. You can kill an Alpha in your wolf form? You're a normal wolf in your wolf form, not a werewolf. Your claws and teeth are not silver. Silver is not the only thing to kill a werewolf. And just how do you gonna remove his head in wolf form? You're gonna bite his neck in half? I don't see that happening. Are we done here? Mac asked, looking around. There's a couple of detectives heading our way. I looked over at Dragomir. We can be here, right? Yes. Mac, go back to the truck. Jackson and I will handle them. We need to hash all this out back at your place, Jackson. We waited while the two men came forward. And just follow my lead, Jackson. Don't say a word. Hey, the first detective said as he got close. I'm Detective Niles. He was a 40-something, slightly overweight, bored man, typical cop. And this is Detective Morris, he finished, nodding over to his partner. Morris, unlike Niles, was in his prime, maybe 20-something, young and healthy, in shape and gung-fucking-ho. He was a bad cast reject from the 80s show Miami Vice, Ray-Ban sunglasses and everything. His stern look was on the verge of angry. Bad cop persona when it wasn't needed. Like we were suspects instead of authorized federal officers. I knew exactly how to handle this guy. I eyed him, stared him right dead square in his sunglasses. And though I'm only like 5'2", and he's probably 5'10", 5'11", I made him feel like I was looking down on him. I knew it, and he knew it. We were just leaving, Dracomir was telling Niles, as Morris and I had our silent struggle, our little battle of wills. Put a little more arrogance in my gaze and smirked at the man. Niles was saying, you don't want to wait for the occult expert? We got an occult expert on the way from the local community college, Niles asked. I laughed. I couldn't help it. A community college? What, professor? Aren't they just like bachelor degree, just like high school teachers? My eyes never left Morris though. My laughter was kind of half feigned. I couldn't help it. But, yep, that was the straw that broke Morris's good sense. You motherfuckers aren't going anywhere until we get to the bottom of just who you are and why you think you can come on our crime scene. I had it planned out. From the moment the guy walked up, I knew it would have to happen. We're going to have to work with these guys. We're not going to be able to fix this in a day. So, it was time to humble him. While I continued to laugh, as quickly as I could move my foot, I kicked the man's leg just below his knee. I had changed into my steel-toed boots before we left the house. And I heard the satisfying crack. Fortunately, I was swift enough that not even he noticed that I had done it. He howled and fell to the side, his leg no longer able to support his weight. I stepped back and looked around, pretending to not know what happened. What the fuck, I said. What happened, Morris? Niles asked, the younger man, as he rolled on the ground, his face deep red, holding his leg. We'll just be going, I said. Dragonman said, yes, you have my card. Niles just nodded, trying to focus on his partner. When we got to the truck, Cal was already there, showing Mac what had happened. He was acting out the kick as we approached. Jackson, did you really kick that detective's leg? He admonished me. You know he's just doing his job, man. You do seem pretty suspicious. Well, Dragomir started. If Jackson hadn't broken his leg, I was about to fry him with lightning. Yeah, I'm another dimension, alright, Mac murmured. Someone slipped me a Mickey, and I'm in a rubber room somewhere bouncing off the wall. Thank you very much, reality. You think this is freaky, brother? You ain't seen nothing yet. Cal snorted. You tell him, white man. This concludes Chapter 4. House of Cain, Den of Wolves, about witches. Hope you enjoyed it. I know it's kind of an information dump. It's going to get a little bit more exciting as we go along in the next few episodes. So please stay tuned. Like it if you do. Leave a comment, please. Let me know how I'm doing. And subscribe if you haven't. Have a blessed day.